Pisces, Sun, Moon, and rising sign. This is your tarot reading for the week ahead. Big transformation, big shifts ahead for you this week. Some of them seemingly a bit disconcerting, sometimes a little bit confusing at times, but out of which will come a new sense of clarity. You're likely to enter the start of the week in this Two of Swords energy. Should I, shouldn't I? Should I stay? Should I go? What choice to make? Ordinarily, I would say, well, listen to the instructions and guidance from the Two of Swords where they got the blindfold, your intuition, it's about going internally. But given that you have the Wheel of Fortune energy there too, and these big shifts and these big changes also taking a hold simultaneously, it's gonna be a little bit challenging to understand what's up, what's down. You're not necessarily going to be able to see the wood for the trees, but all is not lost. All is not lost. You are likely to experience some big shifts and some big changes. Again, whether some of those are pleasant or unpleasant has yet to be seen. But what we know, given that you have the death card, is it's going to be a process of letting go. So one of the images that comes to mind is a bit like if you put a dirty jumper into a washing machine, it flaps around like mad and then comes out sparkling and shiny new. So again, that sense of being in the washing machine might not always be necessarily comfortable, but coming out, we will feel a sense of renewal. We'll feel a sense of, okay, I've let all of that go. So one of the most useful things for you this week is to look at what could I be letting go of? What am I holding on to unnecessarily? Usually where we get stuck between two big choices is the fear of what we may be losing, or the fear of the door that we're closing, or the big bridge that we're burning. And as we know with the King of Swords energy that's also in your spread, because the King of Swords is the master of the mind, he's able to make the right decisions, the right choices, and he's able to do that with absolute clarity. But he's not like the Queen of Swords, where that can be quite rigid. It can be quite kind of off with their heads energy. And the King of Swords knows that they can be adaptive. So it's not about making the wrong or right choice here, but it is about making a choice. And when we start to become fearful of change and when we feel at an impasse, then we're likely to get stuck. We get stuck in our thinking. So it is about embracing change. Also, the Wheel of Fortune often reminds me of a coin. So one of the ways, if I'm really stuck for a big decision, I get out a coin and I say, okay, heads I'm going, tails I'm staying. And I flip the coin and it doesn't matter which way it turns up. So if it lands with tails, I'm staying. And then if my heart sinks at that outcome, then I know my answer. And the same is true here. Also, trying to make sure that you don't take any big shifts kind of to heart. Roll with the punches here. Roll with the punches. So you may find that things are turning around very quickly. And sometimes it's the speed of change that can be the most jarring aspect of it. But the more acceptance that you're able to cultivate this week and just say, okay, that's how it's panning out. That's how it's showing itself. Cool. It's fine. The reason that I'm so sure on that being a positive is because it makes way for the King of Swords. So where there might have been confusion, where there might have been a bit of a grey area, very often what happens is because we haven't made the choice ourselves, the universe makes it for us. And this really feels like a theme that will be playing out for you this week, Pisces. So if you've got any big decisions to make, ask yourself, would I rather be in the driving seat for this choice? Would I rather be the one that decides whether I go through door A or door B, or do I want the universe to make it for me? The universe will, and in some instances we might think, yep, great, okay, I can lay back and allow that to happen. But don't be surprised if that's not always in the easiest way, or the gentlest way, or the smoothest way by any means. We can sometimes feel like we're being wrenched. So I would really encourage you, if there are some big choices that are on the table, make them. Don't keep delaying them, because we all know those instances, don't we, where we know we should have made the decision weeks ago, months ago, years ago, but we've just kind of stuck our fingers in our ears and just gone, la, 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 I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll work itself out. And of course, inevitably, it doesn't. It just gets worse and worse and worse, and it starts to snowball. So don't be surprised if some of those things come to a bit of a head this week, particularly as we have the Death card. But it's, again, not, this may sound kind of slightly more grim and kind of serious, grim being the operative word with the Grim Reaper of the Death card. It may sound very, very grim, but actually, if played rightly and played correctly, it could lead us to be the King of Swords, where we're able to make a lot of these choices in much more of an empowered and decisive way. Being decisive is gonna be key for you this week. Don't dilly-dally. Don't just assume that, okay, don't just kind of be at the mercy of the universe, because it's likely to slightly slap you on the back of the wrist if you do. Yes, there is a time for surrender. Yes, there is a time to go with life's flow. Absolutely. But then there's also times to sometimes have to make those slightly harder calls or those slightly harder decisions. And I was about to say I'm promising you. I can't quite promise you, but I'm 89% sure, very specific, 89% sure that if you do make those choices, it will bring clarity and freedom. It's often when we're trying to carry two things simultaneously that things feel like they're dragging or they feel very slow. But if we're just working with one thing and working and giving it our all to that, then it tends to work better. So are we overcommitted? Are we trying to please both parties? Are we trying to please more than one person? If the answer to that is yes, then what needs to be cut away? What needs to be simplified? What needs to be streamlined? It's probably a better word. What needs to be streamlined in order to make that process easier? Because if you follow that, what is the result is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands loves speed. It's about things moving quickly, things coming in quickly. And again, the fact that you have with the Wheel of Fortune, you're likely to enter this week one way and come out of it another. So lots of big transformations, lots of big changes, definitely. Don't make assumptions that you know what's coming next, because you most likely won't. Life has a funny way. There's that wonderful Woody Allen quote, isn't it? If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. And this seems very, very kind of applicable to this week. But given the Wheel of Fortune with the Eight of Wands energy, lots of transformation, things moving very, very quickly. And just like an aeroplane, if we've got bits sticking out and it's not very aerodynamic, then the wings can kind of rip off in the drift. So wherever we can do to streamline the processes means that we are able to kind of take advantage of that momentum of what's coming in and what's coming ahead. This feels like bigger, brighter, better things, more streamlined things. But again, if we're stuck in this place of dilly-dallying and I'm not sure, that looks kind of interesting, before you know it, we've been left in the dirt and and life's moved on. And again, then we're trying to play catch up. Then we start to feel stuck. So a little more of a kind of forthright reading for you, Pisces, but I hope that inspires and helps, and I hope to see you next week. Bye for now.